Hi guys, welcome to Brand X Reviews. Today I'm going to be talking about the Star Wars standalone movie that is likely to be made featuring Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, in my last video I was talking about how I think that it's going to be set between episodes 3 and 4 and it will likely star Ewan McGregor. One thing I didn't talk about was some of the implications, because I don't really care for it, to be honest, but there is a thing called the Star Wars Expanded Universe, and I've always said it doesn't count, it's not canon. Now, technically, I've always been wrong with that, because technically it was canon, but the thing is, it's kind of changed shape over years as the extended universe. So, what happened, a brief history on this anyway. When that first movie came out in 1977, there were books, there were comics, there were computer games, there were animated series, or even live action movies that were kind of made in the Star Wars universe, but by the time Disney took over Lucasfilm about 5 years ago, and then they started to obviously make future films, they came out with this announcement and said, right, well, most of that expanded universe doesn't count anymore. Hence, I made memes like this to kind of troll people, because I always said it didn't count anyway. But they did that, it pissed off a lot of fans anyway, and they kept a few things as canon, such as the Clone Wars animated series and the Rebels animated series. I think mostly because they were still being made, so they didn't really want to shoot themselves in the foot there. But this kind of brings into question, because if the Rebels animated series is still canon, that features Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it's during an era where the Obi-Wan Kenobi standalone movie will be set. So there's some implications there. They're going to have to be really careful. Either they're going to do away with the Rebels animated series, which I highly, highly doubt they will do that. Again, I don't care if they do, because I don't watch it, I don't care for it. But, you know, from an analysis point of view, it's unlikely. Or they'll just have to be very careful and just write a story that kind of works around the Rebels series. Reason being, Obi-Wan Kenobi appears in the Rebels series. So it's kind of tricky, really. I mean, there are problems with doing this standalone movie set between episodes 3 and 4, because, I mean, you remember in the original Star Wars film, episode 4, when Obi-Wan says, you know, Obi-Wan Kenobi, that's a name that I haven't heard in a long time, implying pretty much since the end of episode 3, when that film ended, Obi-Wan kind of, that name wasn't used after that point. So if he's kind of brought back at some point for like a standalone mission or whatever, and he's referred to as that, well, I wasn't known as that. I haven't heard that name in a long time, apart from that time in the Rebels series about 5 years ago, you know. It kind of, there's problems there anyway, but who knows what they're going to do, really. Like I say, I very much doubt they're going to scrap Rebels from being part of the canon, because they've already kind of set a precedent for bringing that into the movies, really, which is quite impressive that they did that, because think back to Rogue One, the character played by Forrest Whitaker. That's a character established in Star Wars Rebels series, so that's something quite rare when you have an extended universe. It's usually the movies that impact the TV series, not the TV series impacting the movies. We see this with Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We see characters from the movies in the series, but you don't really see anything, be it characters or storylines or anything from the series impacting the movies. So for Rebels to do that, to have a character like the Forrest Whitaker character brought into the movies from the series, is actually quite impressive. Like I say, that they would do that, and leads me to think if they do an Obi-Wan Kenobi standalone movie, they're going to do it in line with what they've already established as canon in the Rebels series. So, what do you think about this? I mean, like I say, I haven't watched the Rebels series. It just doesn't really do it for me. To me, it just seems like a kids' TV show that officially is canon, but to me, it doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, that's my choice. That's a personal choice. I've always said that about the rest of the canon as well. All that extended universe that they just basically decoupled a couple of years ago by saying all these books with Kyle Katarn and Mara Jade and all these other characters that you've like known to love over the last couple of decades in books and comics, that doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't exist to me, it never did, but like I say, to a lot of fans out there that do, if you think that's canon, if you think that's where the movies went after Return of the Jedi, stick with it, you know, keep it in mind if that's what you think, you know, if that's what Star Wars is to you. hold on to it and don't let go of it. I personally think Star Wars is just movies. That's what it is. It came from a movie, and it will always be movies. It's not books, it's not radio shows, it's not comics. I don't care for it, but that's just my personal opinion anyway. So but either way, my personal opinion aside, the implications here about this standalone movie are quite interesting at this point, and I'm really gonna be interested in seeing how this plays out, because they really need to tread carefully if they don't want to piss any more fans off. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there. If you want to follow us, there's going to be plenty more updates on this channel. We have a Facebook page and so on. You can look us up. So a bit more information coming up on that. But for now, I will leave it there and say thank you very much for watching.